Welcome to Flick Flops, the podcast where we review critically bad movies so you don't have to.
From box office bombs to straight to streaming duds, we take a deep dive into the films that missed the mark.
Each episode, we'll break down a different movie and give you our honest thoughts on what worked, what didn't, and everything in between.
Whether you're a die-hard movie buff or just looking for a good laugh, we've got you covered.
So grab some popcorn and get ready to join us on a journey through the world of critically bad cinema. This is Flick Flops.
Welcome back to Flick Flops, the movie where we give you honest reviews, sometimes of bad movies, so you don't have to. This week we are taking on the movie 65. It's a 2023 American sci-fi action thriller written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods and starring Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt. In the film, a pilot crashes on an unknown planet, which turns out to be Earth during the Cretaceous period, and fights to survive the dangerous prehistoric environment. Andrew Parker.
Yeah, that's about it.
Molly Drew.
That's it. All right, see you later.
Roll credits.
Yeah. So,
I know you knew nothing about this movie, right?
Right. So when this movie came up, I didn't do any reading on it. I had not heard about it. I didn't know this movie had been made. So I went into it completely unknown. I knew a little that it was something happens where this guy's going back in time to a degree. And I'll preface by saying I'm not a really big sci-fi person, which I think this falls into sci-fi, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah.
Again, so reflecting back on, well, let's do the budget. Let's talk about it for a second. So this thing had a budget of, let me get my notes here, $45 million was the budget for this movie. And I'm guessing, again, like with Cocaine Bear, a lot of this was probably the effects.
Yeah.
To date, the gross on this thing, domestically, it's at $31.5 million, and worldwide, it's $55.9 million. So I guess it made its money back. According to Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have this at 35%, and the audience has it at 65%. And I'll go with I'll lean towards the audience on this one. I didn't dislike this movie. They said, just like I stated previously, I'm not a science fiction person in general. You know, I like Star Wars and the big hits, but I don't swim in this pond, basically. But again, I just like when we talked about Murder Mystery 2, I kind of enjoyed the movie. I really sat back and got taken into this movie.
Yeah.
I let the movie happen. I didn't look at it through a super critical lens going, well, this just isn't us is unrealistic. Well, of course it's unrealistic.
Right. That's sort of the contract you have with the film going into it, right?
Yeah. I mean, one note that I kept seeing when I looked at Adam Driver here, and I don't know if you might see it the same way I do. I just see him as like and this is not a knock on Driver. I actually like this guy, but his look is a GED version of Keanu Reeves. You know, he's not quite Keanu, but man, it's like if you went to the Dollar General, like, you got a Keanu Reeves in stock? We got this. I'm like, all right, that'll do. That'll do for the party.
That's a way better. Yeah, that's a way better way than I would put it.
I mean, it's sort of a backhanded compliment.
It is kind of. I like him too. I think I do. I like his acting, and I like a lot of things I've seen him in. But he is an interesting looking guy.
He is, and I mean, look, we're nothing to look at either. I'm not saying that we're studs. I'm just saying, when I look at this, I keep seeing a version of Keanu Reeves in the John Wick era. Yeah, and I was like, it's not quite Reeves, but I'll take it.
Yeah. And
this young lady here was really, I'm gonna say props to her. She was really good. The acting in this, almost harkening back to like you had brought up in Children of the Corn, Gary, where the actress, you really liked her acting. The young girl. I did too. I thought this little girl was great.
Yeah.
I thought she did a really good job. So overall, I mean, acting in this was really great. I love the scenery was great in this thing. The CGI was fantastic. I mean, it's like watching a little Jurassic Park-ish to me.
Right.
So it was good. I mean, I don't have a lot of bad to say about this movie, if anything at all. I enjoyed it, and I know this. If anybody's tuning into this, you're thinking we're just going to shit on every film. We're not. If a film's good, we're going to be honest, and this is a good. Look,
Our opinion.
would I tell everybody to go see it? No, but if you stumble upon it, I think for an hour and a half, you're like, yeah, I'm mad. You're not gonna be mad at the end of the day.
I say for streaming, this is a great movie to watch.
Yeah,
And I don't know that I'd say it's not worth going to the theater for. The effects in that might be
probably
cooler in the theater. I will tell you that unlike Murder Mystery 2, I actually have a few notes on this movie. However, I don't really think any of them are bad notes. It's just that they are things that I wanted to note to talk about. The first being that in the first few seconds of the movie, you find, first of all, let me just start at the beginning. I didn't know anything about this movie either. I'd seen a few things flash up here and there, but unless I missed it, and I do admit that I skip commercials and stuff as much as possible.
Yeah.
I didn't really see anything about this movie. So I don't know what kind of marketing budget they were using for this. I didn't really know much about it. I was kind of surprised.
When you brought it up in a conversation, I was like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, I don't have my thumb on the pulse of the movie industry.
Yeah.
But, I kind of keep my eye out for movies that are coming. And you're like, yeah, let's watch this movie 65. I'm like, I'm going to have to trust you because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. And these are the kind of movies I like. I mean, I like sci-fi stuff. I'm all about it.
Yeah. I mean, you're totally hippiers.
That would be fantasy, but that's a whole other story. We'll talk about some. That's a good story we'll bring up someday. So when I did go to try to find out a little bit more about it, I watched the trailer for the movie. And I don't know if I just didn't pay a whole lot of attention or if the trailer was misleading to a degree on purpose. The only thing I got out of the trailer was I thought that he was from Earth and that was in space and somehow traveled back in time and landed on Earth at 65 million years ago.
Right.
And that's cleared up for me the first 2 seconds of the film with the little scroll that pops up.
Well, so let's stay on that just for a second, because they don't ever really, in my opinion, they don't explain how he travels back in time.
Well, he didn't. That's the point.
So educate me on this.
Okay.
So at the time of this movie, in the movie, at his time, he's living on a different planet 65 million years ago.
Right. Correct.
Okay. This is where I struggle with science fiction.
Well, and there's a lot of because of the whole human element, and they're talking English, speaking English and all that. It's kind of well, you have to forgive all of that kind of stuff, because
if you look at all the technology this guy has,
yeah,
yet he's in our time, it's 65 million years ago.
Right. Well, that's because wherever he's from, they're way advanced.
They're clearly 70 million years ahead of us.
And I think
Oh, and also to make just a quick joke about it, 65 million years ahead of us. And your clothes really look like you can see the stitching. It looks kind of crappy. She's wearing a hoodie.
Well, there's some lines and stuff on. I didn't know if that was some sort of biometric kind of thing. I mean,
again, that's just it's funny. I'm not taking on it. Just it's funny to me. It's the future is always this crazy. These spaceships, yet you can see the stitching on them. We haven't figured that out, but whatever.
What do you want him to do? Vacuum seal him?
I do. Well, but look at the spacesuit he wears.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So anyway.
Yeah, the helmet he had to me was kind of like a little bit of Alien. Alien from it kind of had that sloping back, or
that's a good call.
Bicyclist or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that was the first note I wrote down. I was like, well, that's interesting. Right at the beginning, I'm a little, taken off what I thought we were going to see. And then my other notes were just things. There is one note that I thought, I mean, I hear dogs.
I'm trying to ignore it. My one dog is having an ever-loving fit because the other dog went out for a walk. So if you hear that howling,
oh my,
Piper is not a fan of being left
Piper
alone.
Dune.
Yeah.
So my one note that I was like, well, I guess in a way it was kind of like two. I'm looking at my notes now. Yeah, I'm just going to get these two kind of knocks out of the way because they're really not bad. But
yeah, I got a couple things I want to bring up, but they're not bad.
One, and look, spoilers. You know, you could right now. We'll both tell you, see the movie. If this is your kind of thing, go see it. You'll enjoy it. I mean, if this is your type of film, I liked it. Andy said he liked it, but spoilers. There is the old, which I haven't seen in a while, the old quicksand trope.
Dude, it's my note.
I was like, really, quicksand?
Like, glad to see quicksand making a comeback.
Yeah, like I haven't seen that in a while. That was nice to see that again.
Well, Gary and I are both in our 50s. When we were kids, we thought the future would be full of quicksand.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, if you watch Land of the Lost, everywhere you turn, you're sinking into this, and there's nothing you can do. Unless someone has a tree branch, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're just gonna slowly, very slowly sink.
That was one. Yeah, that's funny that you had the same note. The other one was and again, spoiler alert. The fight at the ending when they use the hot geyser.
Yes.
I was like, okay, my only issue with that is that water sprayed everywhere. Like, how did they not get caught in it a little bit?
Well, and then I'm like thinking, well, so is this Yellowstone? Did he have to land in the United States?
Maybe he did.
Is that Old Faithful?
Don't know. I mean, that asteroid completely reshaped everything anyway, I'm sure. So
I guess, yeah.
But that was my only note. I was like, if I had to pick on something, it would be like, and it's not even a little bit of splashback on that one, and ow.
It's just, and it's again, you really both.
I'm reaching for something to say bad.
Yeah. One effect I thought was cool is I marked the scene here about 50 minutes in when they're sleeping out in the cave or whatever it is.
I think I had the same note.
And the girl was sleeping and she's got like something coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
And he rolls her over because she's choking or something's happening. He opens her mouth and there's like a scorpion or something.
Like a slug with teeth
inside of her mouth. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. It's a little thing, but I was like, that's really cool. And the fact that he didn't panic, I would have freaked out. I was like, oh my God, you're going to die.
Yeah.
I just would have ran for my
I don't want that kid in me.
That thing looks horrible.
No, I thought you were going to say, because there's a fight that takes place in the cave. And in it, his flashlight keeps going out. So it's like flickering. It's got that little, that's a horror element thing there with the flashlight thing. But he's got this little scanner.
Yeah.
And he's trying to scan the room to see where this dinosaur that's attacking him is. And he drops it in the middle of the fight. And then as they pan away from the fight, you're seeing the fight happening on the scanner, which I was like, that was a really cool effect. Like that was really neat the way they did that.
It was done very well. And I'll tell you real quick. So this Scott Beck, other things he has done, just so we can put it in perspective. He did he did a Quiet Place. He was a screenwriter for that, which was movie. 83 and 96 on the on the tomato meter. And he also did a movie called Haunt in 2019 that is 69 and 100% with the audience on that.
I'm not familiar with that one offhand.
So, the guy's got a little bit of, he also did something called The Boogeyman and something called Impulse, which don't have any scores yet. And I believe his partner is the same, Brian Woods. I think they work
together. Okay.
Yeah, if I look them up, I think you're going to get the same results for both of these guys. And of course, Sam Raimi is helped produce this film. So
Sam Raimi,
pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a moment. There's that one point in the cave where they're kind of forced to go a different direction and they have to crawl through.
Yeah.
I made a slight note that part was, thank goodness that was a short part. I've
Yeah.
become claustrophobic now in my old age. I
Oh.
don't know what's going on. And
You're
I'm
like,
like, man,
"Ugh,
I'm actually a little.
get out.
I'm
It's not
finding
going to
myself.
work for you.
Turn around, fight the dinosaur.
Got better odds with the dinosaur.
Take him out. Take him to the geyser. And then the other note that I have, which is definitely a spoiler for certain, is that I thought that was an interesting take for. So, there's no other than, hey, we got to get to the ship to get out of here.
Yeah.
There's no real stakes until most of the way through the movie. I mean, there's the stake. Of course, they're trying to survive, but there's no real time crunch. And they brought in the time crunch with the asteroid, which I was like, nice. Like I was like, that was a nice take on how to make that kind of force that push at the end.
Yeah.
Nice. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, they did a good job. And I'll say to jump on that too, that I don't want to give it away, but stay through the credits if you're watching the film, because you'll see how the results of the meteor crashing into the Earth. And I don't know if you stayed through that, Gary, and saw that.
Nope. Guess what I'm doing? I have to check that out.
Just it's nothing. I can give it away. It's no big deal. Spoiler, but
I already spoiled a few things, man. At this point, like,
so the credits are rolling, and it's just it's showing it's like a long shot of where the meteor hit, and then you see it slowly change into farmland, and then you see it change into a city.
Cool.
So it's the same shot. It just, again, it's not earth shattering, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
A nice touch, though.
And the thing is, I wish the movie ended a little abruptly for me. I wanted a little bit longer. I wanted to see a little bit more where this was going. And when it ended, and it made sense when it ended, I just personally was like, oh, I wanted to see just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to give away
it needed a little bit of closure, I think, for the characters to a degree.
Yeah, I needed to see something finished off there, but not enough to go, man, the movie sucked. It was good. It's good. Yeah. Well done. Watch it.
Yep.
I don't have much more to add. Do you have anything else to add? I can give you my rating and we can move on.
Go ahead and you know what? For a change, you do yours first.
I'm gonna go back with I'm gonna give it this.
Yeah.
I would have gone a half, but I think there are some people who don't want to watch this type of sci-fi type movie. So I'll leave it at 1. It could have easily been a half a turd for me. Like Murder Mystery 2 I enjoyed that one thoroughly.
Yeah.
This one, I would tell anybody I know to watch Murder Mystery 2. This one, I'd be a little more.
It's a different. Yeah. Well, I think you're always talking about your audience. This one fits into more of a niche audience. Not real niche.
Teresa would not want to watch this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dad might enjoy this movie. So it's like, who do you? So that's why I give it the 1. Murder Mystery 2, I'd tell anybody to watch. It's a good movie. You're going to enjoy that. This, you will if you like sci-fi and you like Dollar General Keanu Reeves. There, I said it. I stand by it, Gary. The gauntlet is down.
Well, now I'll never look at him the same again.
I can't.
I'll be always waiting for him to.
That's all I saw the whole time. I was like, it looks like John Wick. Oh, it's not John Wick. Damn. But he's cool looking. He's got the deeper voice.
Yeah, I'm mad.
Yeah, he doesn't talk like that,
All right. Well, unlike you, I'm gonna fire off the half toilet paper. This is totally a movie the type of movie that I like. I can't. I mean, I totally get your reasoning, and I understand that, and I probably feel the same way. Certain people aren't going to want to watch it. I don't know that Tara would watch it. If she did, I think she would enjoy it though. So
Teresa would not.
But I'm giving it a hit. She'd
be scrolling through her phone looking at houses in Hilton Head or somewhere. She would be like, I'm not paying any attention to this movie.
She's like, no, what's going on again?
It would be like, is this still on? It's still on. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. Now, that being said, this is one of those ones that I don't know that I would go back and watch again. I enjoyed it, but it's not one of those repeat for me. There's nothing in it to like
Yeah,
I mean, there are certain movies that I'll watch more than once, but this, maybe if the kids want to watch it, I'd watch it with them. But
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
if I'm visiting my dad and he's like, "Hey, let's watch this movie," I'd sit and watch it with him.
yeah,
But I'll probably never watch it again.
right. It's not one I'd seek out, but I did enjoy it. I don't want that to seem like it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's an easy one, man.
I know we got to find something that we can get animated about. I need to watch one where my blood pressure rises and my face flushes.
It's always more fun.
It's no fun, but like I like the movie. It was pretty good.
Yeah. What about you? Well, I liked it too. Oh, crap, we can't even argue.
Why are we doing this podcast? Doesn't make any sense.
Flick
Flops?
I don't know.
With a question mark?
Flop. Yeah, come on, question mark. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on an episode of Flick Flops. We hope to see you next time when we will hopefully watch some movies that we can crap all over because it's way more fun.
Herds, Gary.
Peace out, everybody.